I've waited so long to say this. You are all fired.
For 15 years, Evelyn Harper lived as a ghost. At 5:45 a.m., while the city's power players were still tucked under silk sheets, she was already pushing a rusted cart through the hollowed halls of Renshaw Group. To the rising stars of the sales team, she wasn't a person. She was a piece of the furniture that moved. Her gray uniform was a cloak of invisibility. They didn't see the woman who had once been the sharpest mind in the room. They only saw a pair of worn sneakers and a mop. She stood in the corners while executives gossiped about offshore accounts and laughed about cutting the medical benefits of the warehouse crew. They spoke as if she were deaf, as if she were a statue. But Evelyn wasn't just cleaning their mess. She was cataloging their crimes. In a small, battered notebook hidden in her locker, she recorded every lie, every stolen bonus, and every act of cruelty. This building wasn't just a workplace, it was a cemetery for her husband's dreams. In 1998, Evelyn and Marcus Harper sat at a kitchen table building Renshaw Logistics on a foundation of integrity. Evelyn had been the silent architect, putting every cent of her inheritance into the company. When Marcus died in a sudden, violent highway crash, the world went cold. His partner, Caleb Stone, didn't offer a hand. He offered a dismissal. He assumed grief had hollowed Evelyn out. He replaced Marcus with Ethan Cole, a man who looked at a balance sheet and saw a scoreboard and looked at employees and saw numbers to be deleted. In 2007, driven by a quiet, burning resolve, Evelyn did the unthinkable. She didn't sue, she didn't scream. She applied for a janitorial job under her maiden name. She needed to know if Marcus's legacy was still worth saving or if she needed to burn it down. 15 years of swallowing insults. 15 years of watching Ethan Cole buy vacation homes while her friends in the warehouse struggled to buy groceries. The invisible advantage had reached its boiling point. The spark happened on a Tuesday. Ethan had hosted a rowdy celebration for a record-breaking quarter. Profits built on the backs of unpaid drivers. A slice of birthday cake had been crushed into the expensive hallway carpet. As Evelyn knelt to scrub it, her knees clicking against the floor, Ethan stepped over her. His polished Italian leather shoe came down hard on her hand, pinning her fingers to the carpet. He didn't move. He looked down at her with a smirk that didn't reach his cold eyes. "You missed a spot, Evelyn," he whispered. "But I suppose that's the difference between us. Some people are born to sign the checks, and some were born to be stepped on. Try to remember which one you are." Evelyn didn't cry. She didn't even flinch. She looked at his shoe, then up at his face. The fire in her eyes was so hot it almost made him step back. She stood up, massaged her bruised hand, and made a single phone call. "Release the files. I'm coming for my chair." The quarterly board meeting was a sea of expensive suits and forced smiles. Ethan was mid-sentence, mocking the dead weight of the support staff when the heavy mahogany doors swung open. Evelyn Harper walked in. The gray uniform was gone. She wore a tailored navy suit that fit like armor. Her hair was pulled back, her posture reclaimed. She didn't walk to the corner. She walked to the head of the table. "Evelyn," Ethan's voice cracked. "What the hell is this? Get out before I have security drag you to the basement." She didn't answer him. She sat in the center chair. Her attorney, Leonard Price, stepped out from the shadows of the hallway. "Mr. Cole, you are speaking to the majority shareholder and sole owner of Harper Renshaw Holdings. You're also speaking to the woman who has spent 15 years auditing your every move." The room went tomb quiet. Evelyn set her old janitorial badge on the table. "You told me to remember which one I was, Ethan. I remembered. I'm the woman who built this company. And I'm the woman who's taking it back." The fallout was surgical. Ethan Cole didn't get a speech or a severance package. He got a security escort and a federal investigation. Evelyn's first act wasn't to look at the stock price. She walked down to the basement locker room. She stood before the people who had been her family for 15 years, the ones who had been ignored, stepped on, and forgotten. She didn't give a corporate speech. She hugged them. She restored the overtime. She fired the bullies. She turned Marcus's dream into a reality that worked for everyone, like then, not just the ones in the corner offices. When asked why she stayed in the shadows for so long, Evelyn looked at the scarred skin on her hand where Ethan's shoe had pressed down. "Power is like a fire. she said softly. If you use it too early, it just smokes. But if you wait until the room is full of gasoline, it changes everything. From the other side of silence, Toss Stories, where real voices rise and truth finds its echo. Like, subscribe, and share, because the most powerful person in the room is often the one you didn't bother to notice. Would you have the patience to wait 15 years for justice? Tell us in the comments.